Hey viewers, welcome to AdvoTalks Courts Bulletin. I am Siraj and we are going to bring you some important legal developments that took place across India. Let's look at the top stories. In the Haridwar High Court, another defamation case has been filed against Congress leader Rahul Gandhi over his alleged comments during Bharat Jodo Yatra in January this year. He has allegedly referred to RSS as Kaurava of the 21st century, for which the defamation case has been filed. The Calcutta High Court expressed its displeasure at Dabur India for its request on passing orders to pull down all the URLs of the videos made by content creator Dhruv Rathi on the company's product Real Fruit Juice. The Supreme Court of India has acquitted a person who was convicted for murdering his wife almost 22 years ago after finding out that the lower court found him guilty on a mere suspicion. The court observed that the suspicion and doubt alone cannot be basis of guilt of an accused. In the Calcutta High Court, a public interest litigation has been filed by Shuvendu Adhikari seeking an NIA probe into the violence during the festival Sri Ramanavami. The PAL terms the violence is a state-sponsored aspect. Overturning the 2019 District Court verdict, the Rajasthan High Court has acquitted 4 accused in a 2008 Jaipur blast case. The Rajasthan government is expected to file a special leave petition in the Supreme Court against the acquitted accused. The Karnataka High Court has refused to give bail to an accused in a case under POSCO Act where a claim was made that the victim had given her consent and there was absence of the element of force. The Calcutta High Court has started live streaming of the court proceedings to public as a trial run. The nearly 6-hour-long streaming of the proceedings on the first day got over 6,800 views. In 2018, the Supreme Court declared live telecast of court proceedings was part of the right to access justice under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. The Allahabad High Court has granted bail to a person charged under the UP Cow Slaughter Act. It was seen that the case was a glaring example of misuse of penal law by the state. The court opined that the state did not conduct a fair probe in this case. The Madras High Court has directed the state to compensate a woman for 2 lakh rupees who was falsely involved in a case under Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956. Justice Tottatil Radhakrishnan, who was the acting Chief Justice of the Kerala High Court and the Chief Justice of 4 other High Courts, has passed away at the age of 63. Known as a judge with a strong civic sense, Justice Radhakrishnan had intervened in many social issues like KSCB electrocution compensation, presence of elephants in R2 procession in Sabarimalai, Huttingal temple fire in 2016, to quote a few. The Kerala High Court observed that since extraordinary powers of arresting without a warrant has been granted to the police through the Section 151 of CRPC, a strict interpretation of the same was important to avoid any misuse of such powers. The court was considering a plea filed by a practicing advocate against whom an FIR had been registered, alleging that he is a threat to the maintenance of peace in public. The court also cautioned that the misuse of Section 151 of CRPC would also amount to violation of Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. The Calcutta High Court passed a direction to the West Bengal state government that it must deploy adequate police force in the areas wherein peace and tranquility was disturbed and incidents of violence took place during the procession of Sri Ramanavami. The court also observed that the safety of the school-going children and the businessmen should be sufficiently safeguarded. The central government has notified the appointment of senior advocate Harpreet Singh Brar as the additional judge of the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Earlier, the Supreme Court Collegium had recommended Brar's name for appointment as a judge. Justice Brar has earlier served as a chairman of the State Bar Council of Punjab and Haryana, as well as president of the Punjab and Haryana High Court Bar. In the matter of corruption in implementation of excise policy, Delhi court denied bail to the Aam Aadmi Party leader and former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. The Rouse Avenue Court of Delhi has extended the judicial custody of Manish Sisodia till 17th of April 2023. The Delhi High Court observed that the right to residence in a matrimonial home under the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 includes right to safe and healthy environment as well. The Odisha High Court has set aside the conviction and sentence on a rape accused which was imposed by a lower court. The High Court considered setting aside conviction on the ground that the State Defence Counsel who represented him in the trial court was neither supplied with police papers nor given reasonable time to prepare for the cross-examination. The High Court further said that criminal trial is not a T20 match. The Allahabad High Court has granted the bail application of two alleged Al-Qaeda terrorists arrested for conspiracy to carry out a pressure cooker bombing in Lucknow in the year 2021. Earlier, Special Court of National Investigation Agency has dismissed their bail plea. The High Court granted the bail to the accused concerning the gravity of the offences for which the trial is framed and looking to the past antecedents of the applicants being unblemished. The Telangana High Court started conducting the court proceedings for all cases in a hybrid mode. A notification with link had been circulated and the court further requested all lawyers, government pleaders, standing counsel, parties in person and the stakeholders to utilize the hybrid mode. The Supreme Court held that the degree of punishment in any given case must depend upon the severity of the crime and therefore it is the duty of every court to award sentences well knowing the nature of the offence. The court further mentioned that imposing inadequate sentences due to sympathy will undermine public confidence in the legal system. Let's look into some more updates. The Delhi High Court has sought the response of the Central Bureau of Investigation on former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia's bail plea. The plea was in connection with the alleged irregularities in framing and implementing the liquor excise policy of Delhi. The Jammu and Kashmir High Court has recently dismissed a bail plea of a man accused of raping his neighbor's 10-year-old daughter. The court stated that no woman would put her character at risk by falsely accusing a man for a rape. In a loan default case, the Madras High Court has passed an order against the Tamil actor Vishal Khanna, restraining him to release any movies until he creates an interest-bearing fixed deposit worth 15 crore rupees. A suit was moved by Laika Productions for a recovery of 21.3 crores from the actor. The Calcutta High Court has asked all the political leaders to refrain making any statements with regards to Hanuman Jayanti festival. The court has referred to both ruling as well as opposition leaders in this notice. That's all for now. For getting more updates, press the bell icon. Do like and share the videos on our YouTube channel, Advertalks.